How's it going, guys? Winter Kills here. Welcome to another episode of the testing sessions, and today we are sitting down with some Nekroz. I uploaded the deck profile yesterday, I think, from when I'm recording this. So if you guys haven't seen the deck profile and you want to get, obviously the deck profile is right in front of your eyeballs currently, but if you want to get some detailed information on the reasons why I run certain cards, explaining their cards' role in the deck, all that good stuff. You crave that knowledge, you hunger for it. It should be in the annotation at the top right, way up there, or at the end of the video, in the last 20 seconds of the video to be exact. But you can see the only change, if you guys saw that profile, the only change I made is I dropped one evenly matched just to get it down to a clean cut 40 cards. Sideboard is pretty much the same. Triple Judgment is a little bit extra for going first because our Vanity Ruler board does lose pretty hard to Dark Lure no more. I was thinking about siding Imperial Order, but I feel like that would do a little bit more harm than it would good since we are playing a Ritual deck, and spells, well, they're kind of important. So we're going to try to get 2 to 3 complete matches here. I'm going to play against random people and the EU competitive server, and that is going to be the plan. So we'll see how that goes, and if you want to get in on the behind the scenes, a little bloopers and outtakes, consider hitting the join button. I do post those every 1 or 2 a month, depending on how much stuff there is for those types of videos. But let's go ahead and try to get a game. I'm not gonna have a time limit set, that way I can focus more, I suppose. But yeah, we're gonna play some Nekroz. Hope you guys enjoy. Sit tight, it's probably gonna be a longer video, so yeah, let's go ahead and try to find our first game. All right, so we've got hopefully our first opponent here. Our first worthy opponent. So let's see if we can have ourselves a good game here. That is always the goal. We get to go second, which is I guess what we want. Nekroz is a deck that can go sort of both first and second. It's sort of why I've built the deck the way I have. I feel like this deck has a harder time breaking boards than it does making boards. So adding in some cards like Super Poly, as generic as they may be, especially with the open extra deck we have, it really sort of makes sense. So doesn't have any cards in graveyard yet, so Trish is sort of not an option at the moment. But what we can try to do is set up a simple Unicorn lock, and this is one of those decks. Nekroz is such an anti-extra deck style of strategy. That's what makes it very, very, very potent. There's Call by the Grave. So now we've opened, he's opened himself up for a Trish. So we're gonna have to try to set up that play here. We've opened Talismandra, which sucks, but let's go ahead and summon a Talismandra. No, we don't want Talismandra here, rather we want Kandal, because Kandal is going to give us access to Kaleidoscope. Kaleidoscope will get us access to another search via Herald of the Arclight. So that's what I'm going to try to do here. That's my main path of progression at the moment. So he's probably going to wish he didn't call by here in a moment, because we're going for Herald. And if this is any sort of relevant strategy, the extra deck being hindered as it is right now will hurt a little bit. But we can Talismandra. So I kind of want to grab... I'm just trying to figure out how I want to play this. If we go... do we have any ritual monsters in our graveyard? We do. We have Chalice Slime. I kind of want to just grab Brile for next turn. Let's do this. We'll reveal the Trish. We'll see what happens. We're going to summon this. And we opened up Inception, which is just such a good card, because that'll allow us to tribute, or ritual rather, for this Trishula. Let's just hope we don't get Nibiru here. That would be a big no-no. Go for Inception. We're going to go for Trish. We're going to tribute off those. And he's opened himself up for the Trish now by putting a card in grave. And it looks like he's playing DDD. This is probably I wish I would have grabbed the Seravis. We're going to banish the Orthos, but we're still taking 3 cards from him either way. We banished a Thomas in his hand. We can use this in the graveyard. Send that off. I think I don't know if we've used Talismandery yet. I think we have, actually. Yeah, we have, actually, so it's fine, though. We could Ritual Summon again, technically, for Bryanak. That'd be 23, 23, it's 46. 56, that's not enough for a game. So we're just going to kind of cool it there. And we'll just go into the battle phase and swing with everything. So now we know what he's playing. He's playing DDD. So with what we have right now, we're pretty solid. Like, we don't need to do too much. Because if he can't out this Unicorn, he's not going to be able to play the game whatsoever. And I don't know what card he could possibly draw in DDD unless he has a way to, you know, get Ragnarok on the field. That's the only way I can see him possibly outing this, which with 2 cards would be pretty hard for him to do. So he's going to pass. Now we can try to lay on the gas a little bit more here. We can go for, let's see. We really just want to punch for game here. That's all we really need to do. So we can just play it very safe. Go for this, put this on the board, and just enter battle phase and swing for a game here. I believe without the Bryanak, we wouldn't have had game. So, yeah, and that is game aplenty. So we take game 1 pretty easily. So now we're going to go into game 2 here. I can only imagine he's going to be going first. So we're going to put in Dark Ruler, Nibiru. I'm going to take out, actually, the evenly matched. And I'm going to, because, like, these Super Poly and Dark Ruler are very nice that we can draw them as our 6th, and they're live. I'm going to side out a Valk. I'm going to side out a Trish. I'm going to side out, I guess we don't need all 3 Nibiru. And let's see here. What else am I looking to side out at this current point? We could side out the Rhoda as well in this current conjuncture. I think that will do just fine. We have plenty of going second hate cards, and we don't draw a single one, which is pretty typical for me and my luck on this game. But we'll see. Hopefully he doesn't pull off full combo here. Well, he's probably going to pull off full combo. Playing Thomas. This is his 3rd Allure of Darkness he's resolving. So I would hope, I guess he's either drawn into a combo or his hand is still so weird after the fact of the resolving 3 allures that he doesn't have the best hand. He's playing Newton and Thomas, which is a bit strange. My current build of DDD does not run either of those cards, and he's lost connection. Ourselves an opponent here. Let's see if this can go better than the first game that we had. I just clicked go first. That's fine. Let's see here. We're just going to set up standard Unicorn plays. Because you can't go wrong with a blind Unicorn. Does have a 15-card extra deck, so we can assume that he's either playing a deck like we're playing or playing a deck that actually relies heavily on the extra deck. So we're going to go Bryo for Klaus, and then Klaus for Kaleidoscope. We don't really need to go that far into it. We could have just directly searched what we needed, but we're trying something a little bit different here. We're going to go for the Herald of the Arc Light for Unicorn. We'll grab ourselves a search here. Probably want to get Valk ready, you know, for next turn. And since we've got a nice ritual spell in our graveyard already, we can go ahead and prep now. We'll take, let's see here, a Saravis, and we'll take back that Kaleidoscope from our graveyard. And we have a pretty decent setup going into this next turn. There's really not much else we need to do. We keep our hand advantage like it is. We have protection for our Unicorn. We have protection in battle phase. And we have, you know, potentially multiple follow-ups, you know, ways to make follow-ups for next turn. Setting 2. And looks like this might be some sort of Shaddoll variant. Dangers work pretty well with Shaddolls. So that Wendy will get its effect. But I think, for the most part, we're in a pretty good spot against Shaddoll. Much like we were against that very short DDD game as it was. Hopefully this one goes the distance. But we're in a really good spot here because if he, you know, we're in an inherent advantage. We don't put extra deck monsters out on the board unless we're using Super Poly, which means we're, you know, proactively damaging his field. So yeah, there's the mind control. We have Saravis. Hopefully he doesn't have call by, which, I mean, even if he did, he couldn't use it if he just said it. So Saravis was a very good call to grab there. And I like Saravis in here partially because of the idea of that a lot of times you don't need to invest much to get Unicorn out. You know, you usually have, you know, 900 ways to Sunday to get a Unicorn on board turn one. So a lot of times you're left with that extra search, whether it be from like maybe an incantation play or, you know, a prep you might have extra, or a herald search. And I find a lot of times using that extra search for something like Saravis fits in nicely. And you can even get Saravis on the field with Inception. If I haven't talked about it already, I've always thought about the idea and fancied the idea of going to a 60 card build of Nekroz because, yes, it does dampen on consistency, but it does open the ceiling of the deck so much more, and I find it a little bit more enjoyable to play. Not so much to shuffle a 60 card deck, but at least just to play. So we're going to do the standard thing here, which is, you know, it's why we grab the Valk. We want battle phase protection. We want targeting protection. We want to let him sort of squirm underneath this Unicorn as much as we possibly can. Sort of stop every attempt that he has, and he's going to end phase. So now this is where we would like to Trish. This is where Trish comes in handy here. That's what we want to set up. So we're going to go the Chalice Slime for Talismandra. Talismandra is going to grab us Trish. And then since we have Inception in our hand already, you know, we can just go straight for the source here. And we contribute, you know, levels that exceed what we're trying to summon, which is very, very helpful. So don't know why it's not letting me go for Trish, because we have a 6 and a 4. That's 10. That exceeds the level. Oh, so we have to tribute all incantation monsters, so that's my bad. But either way, we get Bri on board. Brio's still just as good to get onto the field. So we'll use that effect. We'll bounce that back to the extra deck. No problem there. We'll go into the battle phase. We know he has a Shaddoll Beast here. Not too much we can do about that, unfortunately. You know, as far as preventing him from getting a draw. So we'll run that over. He's probably going to take the 1,000, summon it back out, which is as you might have expected. Then we'll run into this. We'll get some draws, a discard. Now, this is, I think, one of the more harder parts to, like, maintenance about Nekroz is sort of, like, what you're doing after this point. If you didn't... I thought we were going to be able to Trish there. That's totally my bad. You know, Inception is a card you probably want to read. It's a card I should have read. But only able to tribute incantation monsters only. So it would have been nice to have opened an incantation like Pencil Plume there. Instead of, I guess, per se, you know, just Chalice Slime. But I guess one thing we could have done, if we didn't, no, we still had to tribute our Talismandra either way. So he's going to send another Wendy for that. Luckily, we still have Trish in hand, which is protection for Unicorn, because next turn, he's going to try to flip this up to target this to destroy it. And we're not going to let him do that. We're definitely not going to let him do that. I mean, we could make Dweller, but we don't really need to, so we're just gonna pass there. This is probably, I imagine, the Squamatus is only sort of saving grace to out in this Unicorn. So yeah, he's gonna flip it up, gonna target Unicorn, and I guess, you know, we were adding Trish either way for a Trish play, but, you know, keeping Trish is still very, very good, just in general. Brio is still very, very good as well. Bouncing multiple extra deck monsters has never been a bad thing. So there's Mathematician. We'll see what he sends here. He's probably digging for some sort of out. Maybe we'll see Beast. We can't send Beast. I was going to say Squamata for Beast, but he's already attempted to use one Squamata effect, so it's just going to be another Wendy. Probably 4. And maybe a Beast or a Dragon. It's a Beast, okay. So we need to prioritize on getting some card advantage going, because we don't have much in the line of card advantage. We need to keep up our protection, if at all possible. But he has a fusion play here, so with a way to get to a fusion monster that is bigger than 2300, we don't have any battle phase protection currently. So we'll see what he goes for. Gonna go for Apgalone. Okay, not what I was expecting him to go for. I imagine he's probably not playing Shek. He's gonna use Aerial to banish 3. There's not too much in the grave we care about. I guess the biggest hindrance would be him banishing what is it? Okay, he's not banishing arguably the most important card in our graveyard, which was Inception. That's a card we'd rather keep in our grave, and he left it there, so that's fine. Again, if these get banished, we play multiples of Trish, we play multiples of Valken, multiples of Bryo, so them being banished isn't too big of a deal. The only thing he's stopping is like a potential easy cycle play next turn, if we get access to something like Shurit. So he's gonna go battle phase here easily, or he's gonna link. He's gonna go back into BLS. Okay, so I can sort of see what he's gonna do now. He has to sort of pick his poison though here. Does he want to run over the Unicorn, or does he want to run over the Bryo? They're both threats. He can get a fusion here. Any Shadal card, really. I'm gonna grab Hedgehog. I wonder what this other... I imagine this other set might be... He's gonna discard it as well. He's gonna add another Shadal monster. Like Dragon. Okay. Pot of Avarice. Very, very good card to have right now. Wow. Very, very good card. Pot of Avarice is a card I was thinking about playing in this deck. But I'd find like a lot of times turn 1 it could be dead. Very, very dead. And I didn't want to play it in this particularly like going like... I wouldn't say blind going second, but yeah, it's more of sort of a blind going second build. I didn't think it was too needed. So let's see what he runs over. He's going to run over Unicorn, as you might have expected. And then he'll actually be able to get the other effect of it. Banish a card in the field. It's probably going to be Bryo. So now we have 1 Bryo left. Things not looking too hot. Sets 1. And this is actually kind of a more classic matchup. Than like back in the old days. This particular matchup here. Not much we can do here. We'll just turn this to defense and pass it back to him and see what he's got. Prep Rights is a very, very good top deck. Let's see what we can make work with this. If he doesn't have a negation. Does not have a negation. We're gonna get... what do we have in grave currently? See, if we grab Clauseless... That's Prep was probably one of the best top decks we could have gotten, hands down. Oh, it's just up to me to not screw it up royally at this point. Let's grab Bryo. And add back a Ritual Spell, which I think the only one we have is that. So now we're going to want to ditch this for Clauseless, and then Clauseless for Cycle. Which we need right there. And then we're just going to Cycle for Bryo. And then bounce these 2 back. Oh boy. What is he going to go for here? Maybe a Winda? This is not the right time to El Shadal Fusion. Unless he's going to go for another Apgalone. He's going to go for another Apgalone. We could technically change our target. Playing multiple app clone is not something I usually see, but I guess it is something, I suppose. Alright, so we're just obviously going next game. And I'm going to put in, obviously, our Ben 10 package with Judgment. And I'm also going to side out, let's see here, side out one Valk. And we're just going to go first again. Going first wasn't my intention with that previous game, but we definitely want to go first here now. So we're going to prep for Brio. We have the lock as is. We open Vanity's Ruler, which makes it really easy on us. So we are going to Pencil Plume. We'll reveal Clauseless. And then we're going to go for Talismandra. This is where we'd grab Ben 10 normally. And then pitch Brio for Clauseless for Cycle, then cycle the Ben 10 for Brio, Search of Fairy, which would be Vanity's Ruler, and then tribute those two, etc., etc. So we're going to grab Saravis. We're going to commit our normal summon. Just like that. Then we can pitch. We could go for Unicorn too, just in case he has like multiple interruptions. The only thing I mean, this is a little tricky, but I just really do not want to leave us too vulnerable. Let's do this for Unicorn, and then when we use our Herald search here, we're gonna get another Brio, just so we have a follow-up search for next turn. Which is right. Actually, no. We'll grab Chalice Slime, because Chalice Slime can turn us into anything. Turn it into anything we need. Whereas Brio can only get us one specific card. So we'll do that. That's a little better. So, one-sided Vanity's Emptiness and a extra deck skill drain. So let's see what Shaddolls can do against that. In theory, not much. But can't count them out so quickly. Mathematician is a really good card. Giving him access to pretty much any card in his deck that he needs into the graveyard. Luckily, there's no Shaddol. That's when it's sent to the graveyard and negates something. That would be really, really good. Or maybe I'm just so unlucky that he plays a 1 copy of Alec. Well, we'd have the Saravis for it. So we're good. Again, we don't really care too much here about Ariel. That's not really a big deal to us currently. So, again, I'd be interested to see what he does here. End phase, okay. It's about as much as I expected him to be able to do. So now we are going to reveal Inception. We're going to grab Talismandra. Talismandra's going to grab us Trish. We're going to Trish and go for game. That's the game plan here. That's really all as it's like needs to be. And again, like the thing is about when you add in cards like Super Poly and evenly matched to a deck like Nekroz, it doesn't change so much the standard game plan of the deck. You're just making the deck more easily able to go second, which it sometimes desperately needs that help. And yeah, 27, 25, that is 4K. That is 45. That's 52. That's 72. We need just a little bit more in the damage department, I think. So actually what I'm going to do here is Chalice Slime. And we're going to discard Chalice Slime, and we're going to Pencil Plume. Because I don't think we've used... which one did we just use? We used Candle and Talismandra. So we want to go for Pencil Plume. Pencil Plume can add us one back from grave, which will be this. And then we could... Actually, I think that's all we really need to do. We're just going to go battle phase and swing with everything. Unfortunately, we're not able to get game here. At least I'm not seeing a way to get game. I think we're just going to be, yeah, 500 short. How perfect is that? Yeah, so main phase, like, we can use this, but I really don't see a reason to. I'll just do it anyway so we can get this card back to our hand. I suppose we could have summoned Saravis, actually. I didn't even think about that, because we could attribute this incantation in our hand, which is a level 7 for Saravis. So that's a misplay on my behalf. But I don't think he has a way to out this field. So yeah, we're going to go next game here. And I can imagine we're going to be going second. Or we could easily be made to go first again. But I think with a play like that, it's safe to say that he probably doesn't want us to go first again. So I'm actually going to leave the Vanity Ben 10 play in. Because that's like a surefire win against his particular deck. And I'm going to side out... what do I want to side out here? We could go for a copy of... Let's side out a copy of... I don't want to side out Clauseless, really. Side out a copy of Trish. We'll leave like this. We have some going first cards. We have some going second cards, so... We can't really be too tripped up if he makes us go first again. Because we still have access to that ruler combo. And he is making us go first. So, we have somewhat of a way here to make it happen, but we really don't. Which is kind of unfortunate. It's a good thing we kept it in, because he made us go first here. So, we technically, if had all the right, cards in you, we could have pulled off the Vanity Lock again. Which is not really smart on his behalf. Let's see, because if we grab Ben 10 here, we can Inception, and that really doesn't do us anything. We could grab Bryo. Yeah, no, we can't pull it off here, unfortunately. So let's grab... Yeah, that sucks. That sucks because we have to use our normal summon on Manju. But it is what it is. So let's go ahead and grab a copy of Kaleidoscope. And then Herald for Kaleidoscope for Unicorn. We just keep drawing this one of Inception, man. It is like glued to my hand, but I can't really complain. It's coming very, very clutch in a lot of these games we played. That fact I cannot deny. So we're gonna need some protection here. One thing I'm thinking of doing is going for Valkyrus, and then we're going to Inception. We're gonna go for Valk. We're gonna tribute off. Let's see, both of these. Put Valk on the field, and what Valk is gonna allow us to do is to tribute off itself and Shuret, and that will get us a search. We drew very well off that. We're going to use Shuret here, though. Shuret's going to grab us Trish, which can act as a way to sort of block targeting. We could use this, actually, which we'll use to get Pencil Plume out of the deck and add back Valk. So we're protected from targeting, and we're protected from the battle phase, which is exactly what we need. So all around, I would say that's a pretty successful turn. We'll go ahead and end there. And hand it back over to him and see what he's got for us. Hopefully no Dark Ruler, no Mores, but if he's got it, he's got it. That's one thing. Unfortunately, our deck does lose hard, too. I won't try to sugarcoat it, but Dark Ruler, no more, Lightning Storm. Very big blowouts there for little... It's basically very much protect the castle if you do have to go first, so keep that in mind. Going second, you still want to establish Unicorn. You pretty much always try to establish Unicorn no matter what you're doing, because... It usually means you're using Kaleidoscope to send Herald, which means you're getting a search. So it's like you're extending while also floodgating. It's kind of an interesting thing, so you always want to keep that in mind. Also, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I've created a new background for these types of videos. So as opposed to the old one we had, switching it up. We got Galaxy Eyes Afterglow Dragon on the far left, which you can actually see now, as opposed to Siegfried, which is kind of stuck in the corner the whole time. Can't really see him. We're not going to burn our Valk there. We got Bahamut and good old Gilgamesh comforting us. Going to play the El Shadal, which it's a good thing we did not Valk on the El Shadal. He's going for Winda, actually. Now, the reason if we held the Valk there, because if he Valks away... Or if he El Shadal is in response to our Valk and he takes away with that El Shaddai, one of the monsters that he's attacking with, if the monster that Valk is trying to stop the attack for is no longer in the field when it resolves, Valk basically fizzles. So if he were to attack with Armageddonite, I Valk, he chains El Shaddai Fusion. It gets rid of the Armageddonite. The Valk fizzles, and he can keep attacking. So it's a good thing that we didn't do that. But it's luckily for us and he can run over the Manji. That's completely fine. Luckily for us, though, he didn't have a bigger fusion that he could go into that would actually, be of a threat for our Unicorn. Our hand is really, really good. We can definitely Trish next turn simply by going for Chalice Slime for something like Cycle, and then like Brio for something like Shuret. And we'll get a search out of it in the process, which is nice. Get a card back, essentially. Foolishing for B, so 1-for-1 trade-off here. Hopefully it was worth it. Foolish, a very high-impact card in this deck. But we aren't even locked into one special summon because Unicorn is a card. But we do have to worry about the potential tag out of something like El Shaddai Fusion, which is still in his grave, so he didn't add it back, didn't miss that. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna grab Kandal, discard itself. Kandal for Cycle, and then Cycle for, and actually, we might even do a 1-2 punch here, because one thing you can do with Clauseless is use it in your hand or on field, and then use it in grave via something like Exomirror, or as it was called Exomirror way back in the day, but now called just a Mirror. So we're trying for the Bryanak, which we're going to go directly for. The reason I wanted to do this is because we want to use our Shuret once tribute to Search a Warrior, which is going to be Clauseless, which will get us Exomirror, or just Mirror in this case. And then we can use that to extend further to put like Valk on board and try to push even harder for a game. So Trish hits the board. This is exactly what we want to do. We want to chain block the effect here if we can help it, and rather chain block the effect of the. So he's gonna Mud Dragon here, I imagine, or maybe a Nautilus, but it's probably Mud Dragon. Yeah, but luckily our effect of Trish will still go through. Let's grab Clauseless here. Need Clauseless. Game plan still as follows. We want to get rid of the Winda, and engrave. Let's get rid of the El Shaddai Fusion. We don't want him to be able to add that back. We banish a Shaddai Fusion out of his hand. That's really good still. So let's do this. We'll go grab Mirror. And then we are going to go for the Valk here. We're going to banish the Shuret in the grave. Let's see. And I think that's all we really want to do. That's all we really can do. He's got a set Beast over here, which is fine. We'll run over the Mud Dragon for damage. And then main phase 2, we have the option here to use Valk, which I think I'm going to do. Tribute both of these cards off, draw some more cards. We'll use our Mirrors in grave. We'll banish this. We'll search another Kaleidoscope. And then we'll banish another card again here to search another Cycle. Banish a Trish. Recycle. We have Super Poly too here, which is really cool. We have used pretty much, I think, all of our incantations this turn specifically. I suppose we could put a Brio on board, but there's really no reason I see to do that. So we're just going to set our Super Poly and end our turn. We have plenty of cards to discard too, so he'll draw some cards. That's perfectly fine. See what he discards. He discards Skamana. For Dragon. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. And he has Mathematician too. Must be nice. We're still in an okay spot though. I think we're still in an okay spot. He's down 2 super polys. Ariel, I don't think we really care too much about Ariel here. The only thing that I think we have another shirt engrave. Yeah, hitting shirt will hurt a little. But like, there's nothing much like far as like extension that I see that he could pull off here. I think if we could Trish him again, that would be a really good thing to do. Unless I sided out another Trish, which I'm not sure at this point, to be totally honest. He could banish Unicore. That's fine, though. We don't have a way to get Unicore back anyways at this point. Because usually the way you recycle it is with Daigo, which usually entails that you're using Unicore and like a Manju or Senju to make it. Because you really don't, unless you can keep like 2 Manjus on board for multiple turns, then that's why you could probably make Emerald and recycle it back, but it's totally fine here. Now, my biggest fear is him like cross-sheeping into like a really big play, but luckily he doesn't have that. So, let's see where we are on incantations. I think we're out of incantations, except for this one we have in our hand here. So, we could go for a 9 right now, actually. I think we have a Trish in our extra deck, so we could just straight up go for a level 9. Just get these 2 guys out on the field. Put that out in defense. I did that in complete reverse order. Alright, that may or may not have just screwed me over completely. 100%. Can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. So I guess plan B would be to normal summon this, but if we put this on the field, we can't special summon monsters from the extra deck. Do we have a clauseless in our grave? We do. So I think we could get clauseless out of our graveyard. And we could go all in here for Nepthys, the Sacred Flame. And this is why I like this card so much, because it is very good in sticky situations like this. And we're just hoping and hoping this is going to be a very hard, if not impossible card for him to out. We're safe from BLS Link. Avermax, I think we don't even have to worry about Avermax. We do have to worry about Avermax. But if you can get to an Avermax, then I mean, good for him. We're safe from Apgalone, we're safe from Window, we're safe from Construct. Can't be destroyed by battle, can't be destroyed by card effects, can't be targeted. It's at 48. He can do multiple mathematicians here, that's fine. He needs non-targeting removal. Which, I'm trying to think how he could do that exactly. Construct doesn't target, but it destroys. Apgalone targets. So yeah, I don't think there's too much he can do here to get over this, other than dig for that super poly. But I don't even know what he could make with this card. It's a fire, and it's a winged beast. So I don't really know. We can just sort of start taking pot shots over smaller monsters. And chipping away his life points like that. I did make a few misplays in this game, and I do apologize for that, but this is on the fly. Real-time dueling. So, I mean, these things are bound. They are bound to happen, especially with me. Danger Jackalope. Okay. Jackalope gets hit. Summons another one from deck. So he can make BLS Link here. It's really all I can see happening. The BLS Link can't do anything to our monster. Now, it could, if we had another monster on board for him to run over with, and then banish the Sacred Flame, because that won't target. We do have to keep that in mind. Nephthys is, or not Nephthys, Predaplant. Predaplant. What is he going to do? Is he going to send Super Poly? But what is he going to make? I mean, if he sends Super Poly here, I'm just shocked to see what he'll make. Two plus monster special. He's gonna send Shaddoll Fusion. Okay. I think, like, what fusion monster uses a winged beast or a fire? If he, I mean, if he had another fire, I could see another mud dragon. But yeah, the biggest mistake I made was the, because I thought I was summoning Bryo first, then Clauselus. That's why I put the first one in attack, the second one in defense. But we'd obviously want Bryo in attack and Clauselus in defense. So that's a bit of a misclick. I did not intentionally do that. That is just a misclick on my behalf. And I think my man just cost himself the game. Very close to costing himself the game here. No, actually he has cost himself the game. If he, well yeah, he has cost himself the game. Unless he has a way to get this card the hell off the field before we enter battle phase, or else he's going to take 43 to the face. Yeah, okay, so we take the game right then and there. And actually a full match completed. Oh my god, could you believe? Alright, we got ourselves another opponent here. Hopefully we have just as good as a game as we did last time, because that actually wasn't too bad of a game. We're going to go second, like I would like to go. But I'm trying to think if I got all the points across that I really wanted to mention. But we're just talking about like a 60 card build versus a 40 card build, and how in some cases I actually prefer it because, again, of the power ceiling is being raised quite a bit by adding in the additional cards. But with that last game there, resource management, you know, sort of proved to be a difficult task. So I might actually add in Pot of Avarice. I'm not sure what I'll cut. I'd like to try to keep multiple super polys and multiple evenly matched in. I might add it as the 41st card, and just again, the only difference from the build and the deck profile would be, you know, instead of a third evenly matched, you have a Pot of Avarice, because again, recycling those incantations could be very, very powerful, at least in that last situation we were in. So it looks like we're playing against Dino, if you couldn't tell, which is fine. This could be rather hard matchup to have to go second against, especially if we don't draw any of our going second cards. That can always be difficult if you don't draw good going second cards, good board breaking cards. So we'll see. And this is the new Anim-Adorned Archosaur, so just, you know, even more ways to search the evolution pill now. This case is normal to destroy one monster in your hand or face a field except itself, then add a reptile, sea serpent, or winged beast monster. The same original level as that destroy monster or one evolution pill spell. Great. So getting Pankratops and double evolution pill in the process. This card is totally not broken or anything. Banishing Giant Rex. So he's gonna have UCT, a rank 4, Pankratops, and IP Masquerena. And he's not even going for UCT. He's going for Quatlas, which is really good. I think in some cases better than UCT. Because this is a surefire interruption, surefire negation, and 2 monster negations. So that's really great. Super Poly would be really good to draw here, but we're not going to draw it because, again, why would we draw it? Why would we draw a Super Poly? Let's ask ourselves that question. So, first things first, I wish we had a good way to bait the Quatlas here. Let's try to resolve Manju. I don't think it's happening, but we'll see. So there's Dolka saying hello. We could try Pencil Plume now. See what happens with that. We'll reveal Valk. Now, I mean, honestly, and arguably, it could have been a better idea to just scoop outright and not even attempt to play into this board, to sort of keep what we're playing a secret. But I think that'd be more of a better idea to do in a tournament. But at least for this video, I'm going to try to play through this board as much as I possibly can, just to see what our capabilities are. He has Ash in hand too. Oh boy. Well, I wish I could say we still had another play to make, but I mean, we're running very low here, that's for sure. We'll see if we can kaleidoscope. That goes through. I'll be surprised, but it definitely isn't. Even if it does go through, we can't do much anyway. So we're just going to go game 2. We're going to put in our classic going first stuff. We're going to take out evenly matched. We're going to take out all 3 super poly, actually. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. I think that's fine. We just need to set up our Vanity's Ruler play. Hope he doesn't open either Dark Ruler No More or Lightning Storm alongside of a good combo. Otherwise, we're just going to get blown out of the water. Dino is just... Dino seems to be one of those decks that no matter what deck I play, I usually always have a very hard time against. It's just such a very good deck, and it's just been really good for so long. It's just been such a good deck. Especially with Miscellaneous Source coming back and this new Animadorn card, like, it's just so good. It's just so good. I also hate it, though. I just hate it so much. Alright, so we're going to go first this time, 100%, now that we know exactly what we're playing against. And I believe we don't have our combo, which is unfortunate. I don't know what it is, I just keep drawing Vanity's Ruler in all of my opening hands. It's actually kind of hilarious how many times I've drawn Vanity's Ruler instead of actually drawing like the other cards that I need. It is kind of funny. It's actually hilarious. I think there's no other way to put it. So now we're going to Pencil Plume, and we'll Plume for Talismandra. We want as much protection here as we possibly can get. So we're gonna grab. Let's grab Saravis. And I was actually supposed to get Kaleidoscope here, which I completely screwed that up. So that's nice to know. And we just lose out real hard there, but it's fine. Yeah, I was supposed to grab Kaleidoscope. I just completely... I thought we still had one more way to search something, but I was supposed to go for Candle there to grab Kaleidoscope. And I didn't do that. So either way, we still have accomplished what we sort of want to accomplish here, which is a somewhat protected Unicorn. And if he's not able to push through our entire field, we could possibly slap this Vanity's Ruler on the board next turn and really try to close out this game. And that's his entire turn. I don't like saying I get lucky, but I think we just got very, very lucky in that sense of all that stuff that just went down. So we're going to go into battle phase. Hopefully he doesn't have evenly matched now that we've committed. But I mean, we have Judgment for it if we really wanted to stop it. We have Judgment and Saravis, so we're pretty safe. We're pretty safe. I'm feeling comfortable. We got very lucky right there. We got very lucky. Trying to not make so many misclicks during these videos, but, you know, they're bound to happen. Like, the misplay I made earlier, misclick I made earlier with the Bryo and Klaus, you know, battle positions. And the, now the, miscuing of our searches. Yeah. The goal was to not use, oh yeah, this is gonna feel good. Get it out of here. Get it out of here. I really hope you have a second one. I really hope you have a second one. That'd be a testament to the bad luck on this show. Because, like, it's just, like, we opened Vanity's Ruler, like, the last time we put it in, too, which is, like, hilarious. I think when we were playing against Shadal, we opened Vanity Ruler, but we didn't have a way to set it up. Same thing happens with this hand. We opened Vanity Ruler, no way to set it up. Which is really strange, because you don't need to open Vanity Ruler to make the play go through. I mean, it can make it easier, but all you need is a way to get to Bryo, a Bryo search, you know, with any incantation that isn't Talismandra. So now we need to, I want to try to put in some more plays here. Okay, there's an Ash. Oh, man, we needed that to go through. We needed something to go through here. Now we cannot fully take game. Sure, that's fine. We'll swing for 25. We don't have another Solemn Judgment, which means if he has another Dark Ruler, we don't have anything to stop it. We have not the thing to stop it. But if he has impermanence, we have a way to stop it with Saravas. Alright, so we take game 2. Let's go game 3 now. Where I'm gonna keep the Ben 10 ruler in. Actually, I'm not, because I have a feeling we're gonna be going second 100%. So we're just gonna go full on going second. Cards. We definitely want. Let's see, we'll take out both Saravas here because we really need to make room. We'll take out a Rhoda. I think that should give us the space we need for... I don't think Super Poly is that great here. I think Dark Ruler and Nibiru and Evenly are a little bit better. So let's... hopefully we get to go... If he's going to make us go second, he's making us go first. Okay, now I'm really kicking myself for not keeping in the Ruler combo. He ashes that. We don't care too much, but... What we can try to do here is try to set up Klaus and Unicorn if he does have the out. So let's do that, I suppose. Now we already have Klaus, so we can add Brio here. And then Brio, we'll just pitch Klaus rather for Kaleidoscope. One other thing I wanted to mention about this deck was the, I know some people play Pot of Extravagance, and I think Pot of Extravagance is great. I'm just not playing it because I wanted to play a build that I can play in real life, and Pot of Extravagance, like I'm sure most of you know, is a very expensive card, and I did not want to spend the money on it currently. And with a 60 card variant, a little budget alternative I had for draw power, or at least the lack thereof, was a card called Celestial Observatory, and it did work really good for me for the time being. But what do I want to add now? We already have Brio in hand. I'm just going to go for Cycle. Then we can prep again. And I'm going to grab Saravas here. We have sided out Saravas. That's right. Doesn't mean we can't get to it, though. We'll add Chalice Slime and we'll add back Kaleidoscope. I'm trying to think if we can do a Valk play here to draw some additional cards. Let's use this. Let's grab Trish. And let's actually just hold it here. Yeah, let's just hold it there. We have Trish, we have Valk. We have protection in battle phase. We have plenty of resources for next turn. Again, like, keeping him out of the extra deck is not super vital. Because a lot of his best plays aren't even in the extra deck. Like Pankratops, the True King plays. You know, you have like UCT and all that other stuff. All very good cards. Starting with Extravagance. Man, I knew I should have kept the Ben 10 ruler playing. And Lightning Storm. What are you gonna do? Well, let's say we have Valk, so we're not gonna get OTK'd. Unless he has Call by the Grave, which let's hope he doesn't. If he doesn't, we can survive the turn and Trish him. Hopefully, if he doesn't set up a massive field, but like, I mean, he opens Ovi. Like, this card does so much. Oviraptor is just such an insane card. But Unicorn is still at 1. Little bit of salt, little bit of questioning as to why this card is still at 1, but I don't think it would make too big of a difference if it came back to 2. I don't really see, like, you can try to argue with me on that fact all day long. I just don't see it making any impact if you add a second copy of Unicorn. You get people out there like, oh my god, the world would absolutely collapse if Unicorn came back to 2 or 3. I don't see it happening. I just don't. I mean, you got Dark Luna more to worry about. You got Super Poly. You got Evenly Matched. You got just so much crazy stuff to worry about that Nekroz can actually get dumpstered by. I just don't see it making a big difference, especially if we start at 2. If it goes to 2. If anything, this deck gets a little bit better a grind game, which I think it needs, because sometimes it's like has a very quick drop-off in terms of plays it can make later on. But that's why I think I want to try Avarice in here. I don't know what I'll cut for it. If anything, I might go above 40 cards. I might go like a 45 card list. Valk is a card that I've thought about cutting, and I've seen some lists that have dropped Valk completely, but I think having the battle phase protection is very helpful, very needed. Maybe I could put Valk to 1. I think that's something I could probably do, and add a 3rd Chalice Lineman, because Chalice Slime is a fantastic card all around. It's another starter card, essentially, is what it is. It's a very good starter card. It's basically any incantation, and it takes less to even use. You just need to discard itself. It's a very resource efficient thing. And there's UCT. Yeah, so right now, well, if he makes Dolka, I don't think there's too much we can do in terms of stopping the battle phase, and we might just lose to Unga Bunga, which I'm not too surprised. This is a pretty hard matchup. If we would have set up Vanity's Ruler, we'd have lost, honestly. We would have gotten blown out of the water because of Lightning Storm. But yeah, we're gonna scoop there. There's not much we can do, unfortunately. And I think that's, after I've been recording this for over an hour and a half, I think that's where I'm gonna call it there, unfortunately. I don't think that went too bad, though. I think we had a few good games. We had a few, I mean, granted, I did make some misclicks, but I'm only human and I do make mistakes sometimes, so I do apologize for that. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for this video. Like I said, the only thing I'd maybe want to try to add is maybe dropping a Valk to 1 and adding, per se, a 3rd Chalice Slime in. And maybe just trying to cut 1 card to find space for a Pot of Avarice. I think that's really all I'd want to do. And I don't know. I mean, maybe I could cut Saravis to 1 in place of, being able to, freely search it if we need, and keep it down to 40 cards. Pot of Avarice, not Pot Avarice. I think that's something we could possibly do going forward. I think that could work. But yeah, either way, that's gonna do it for this video of the testing sessions. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. Don't forget to check out the links to some of our sponsors down in the description below to help support the channel. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, Winter Kill signing out. We'll see you guys in the next one.